Yeah, so please tell me about yourself.
Yes, sure. So I have a total 6.8 years of experience in IT. I have started my career in 2007 with a company called Q Infotech, and then there I worked on as a software engineer. I worked on technologies like Java, Spring Boot, a bit of React. Then I joined TCS in 2019 as a system analyst, and there I worked on technologies like same like Java, Spring Boot. I've got exposure to Angular there, and a few other technologies like XSLT, RabbitMQ.
Okay.
Then in 2021 September, I have joined UKG as a senior software engineer, and here I am working on technical stack like Java, Spring Boot, microservice architecture. We have Angular and React in UI, and we I also use Splunk for creating dashboards to monitor our applications. And
Okay.
apart from that, I am also involved in basically product meetings along with them, like for when we get a requirement for a feature from product, we create a technical assessment document which involves your high level architecture of your application, few POC if you have done for that, and the disintegration of stories along with their high level estimates.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is that in Java,
Mhm.
can you elaborate about the internal working of hash map and hash set?
Sure. So HashMap uses hashing mechanism, like it makes use of linked list and a bucket, you can say.
Okay.
So whenever we are storing a value in HashMap, it converts your key into hash code and stores it into an index. In case of hash collision, like where two values or two keys can have same hash code, at that time it attaches them through a linked list and the same index.
Okay.
And hash table internally uses a oh
No,
sorry,
I'm not asking
hash
about
set,
hash
hash set, yes.
table.
Right. Hash set internally uses hash table as its lying data structure, and again it uses the mechanism for storing, like hashing is again used. It calculates the hash code of the value, and it checks if that value is already present, then it does not store it, and if it's not present, it stores it in that bucket or hash table, you can say, so
Okay.
preventing like duplicates.
Okay.
Mhm.
So next question actually I want to ask, you know about the string tokenizer?
Tokenizer.
String
Uh,
tokenizer.
String tokenizer. No, not really sure. Is it related to, like, any idea like how is it related
It
to?
is Java 8 version.
No, string tokenizer. No.
Okay. So you know about difference between encapsulation and abstraction?
Yes. So abstraction basically is presenting or using useful features to the customer and hiding the basic functionality from your end, like service logic. Basically, you're hiding from the user and you are just presenting it. And encapsulation is basically combining everything into a single entity. Let's say then a class or an entity class is a good example of encapsulation, where you bind all the member functions and data members along with into a single entity.
So can you give the example?
Example of encapsulation, like in terms of Java, you have classes for which are an example of encapsulation, and for abstraction you have interfaces are a good way to like implement abstraction in Java.
So it means concrete method cannot be a part of in abstraction.
Concrete method,
Concrete method means fully implemented method. If you have in class
mhm.
have a method, so that would not be part of
So
Abstraction?
you can implement abstraction using abstract class as well. So in that.
No, I suppose I don't want to write interface in abstract class. I am writing only
Mhm.
normal class.
Okay.
Here have method and variables, everything have. So
Right.
here can be used, here how do you specify where is going to abstraction? What exactly behind?
Uh, I mean, con- for normal logic methods, if you're not using like if you have method in any class and you are not using inheritance or like using any class or interface.
Without
Hmm.
abstract class and interface cannot be used abstraction, right? Yeah, you yes and
Using
no,
if we
not a
can
problem. Why
use.
you thinking like that?
I
If
was
you
thinking like if we can use either any final or static for abstraction. No, I
abstraction
not
will
sure.
happen,
No.
abstraction will happen each and every methods. It is not a part of. That is interface method is a abstract method, not a abstraction.
Right.
Right? So first you think about the difference. Abstract is a different thing, abstraction is a different thing.
Correct. Correct.
Means binded part you can unfold. That would be abstraction.
Finite part.
Suppose
Mhm.
you are telling encapsulation. If you know about the encapsulation, you definitely you know about the abstraction. Encapsulation means your class. I that's why I given the example. Your class and variables should be initialized in object. That is the encapsulation.
Right.
Simple definition, a simple example. And initialized value you want to abstract
Mhm.
without
Then.
implementation details. That would be abstraction. Means if you call method with the name of method or variable with the name of object reference, that is the abstraction. You can
Yeah.
get output only. So here is saying hiding the complexity of behavior. Simple. The behavior is nothing you saw. You just get focus on only output,
Correct. Correct.
right? You know about how to make final class
How to make final class
custom.
like.
Suppose string is a final class. You know about that. Okay. So I want to make a custom. Custom means suppose you are a developer.
Mhm.
You want keep your own final class. So what process you will follow?
I mean, you can make your variables as final data members, and you don't provide any setter methods.
Hmm.
You can make constructor private as well.
Hmm.
If you want an instance of that class, you can define a separate method for returning the instance.
Hmm. No.
And
If suppose you don't have private constructor, so what will happen?
you will be able to create a new reference of that class, but
So reference can be
it
created.
can be
That
created. Yeah,
reference
that
can be
can also
created
be.
through string also. String
Mhm.
have how many types of way to creating object through the string.
Like there are three. Like you can use literals, you can use string buffers, you can use string builders. So I mean, the like when using
No,
literal or when using object.
you have key. String builder is different. String buffer is different.
I mean, if
String.
you are talking
I
about
am
ways,
talking
then you
about
have
only string. How many way can be created?
so using a new object or using literals basically.
Literals. Any other way have?
I mean literals, and like you can use new object strings class also for creating a string.
Okay. So how internally work string pool?
How internally works? I mean in string pool, like you whenever you are creating a literal, and if you are like trying to modify it, like if you are,
Suppose
let's
I
say,
will give
string s.
one example. I will give one
Mhm.
example. String ABC. String S is equal to ABC.
Yes. Okay.
All variables are small letter.
Mhm.
String S2 is equal to ABC. Same value. I want to compare string S1 equal operator S2. What you get the output?
If
True or
it's
false?
same, it will give you true in terms of literals,
Why?
because it will share the same memory space. Like you cannot, it will give you a same reference for those.
Same reference, not
Yes.
memory.
Yeah, I mean same reference for those. Yeah.
And suppose you have string S is equal to ABC, string S1 is equal to new string ABC. Then what is you get the output if you use string equal operator S1 equal operator S2, and another we want to print S1 equal S equal to S1.
I
Yes,
mean if you
equals means method. S equals S1.
okay,
So
you are
what output
reassigning.
you will get?
So when you are comparing like
Comparing,
the
comparing.
literal object using and the new
I
object,
am
it will
writing
give you false.
system dot out dot println
Hmm.
es equal operator es2 and system out dot println es dot equal method es2.
Dot equals method will give you for like false basically.
Give false.
Yes.
And equal operator?
Equal operator checks the value, so it will give you true. It does not check the references of the object.
No, equal operator. Equal operator. I am not telling about equal method.
Equal method itself checks for the hash code basically, so it will return false if the references are different.
No, references are different, it will return false. So you think the references are equal or same or different?
Different. If you are using new operator, you
And
will have
equal method what will print?
equal method also like checks your if you talk about the implementation of equals in string class, it will also checks the references, so that will also return false.
No. Equal
Mm,
method will check the value of references. It will only check the value of references. If value of references are same, it will be return true. So value is ABC, ABC, ABC. So reference value is same.
hash code comparison.
You know about concurrency, concurrent hash map.
Yes. Yeah.
So why we are using concurrent hash map in multi-threading environment?
So concurrent hash map is a thread safe version of hash map, or you
Hmm.
can say fail safe version, wherein it allows your concurrent modification on the collection. It internally uses segments,
Hmm.
and each segments act as a hash table. So hash table is already thread safe, so that you can work on concurrent hash map as well.
Okay. You know about Spring Boot?
Yes.
You know about the at the red bean concept, at the red bean annotation. What actually it will do?
So at the rate bean annotation will define your class as a bean, and during configuration and add component annotation, like configuration of like enable auto configuration, your class will be considered and will be loaded in application context.
So how many types of wire, auto wire,
How
wire,
I am aware about auto wire.
dependency injections, how many types of dependency injections
So two are there, constructor and setter injection.
and other
And other than that, you use auto wired annotation. That can also be done in four ways. Like there is a default mode for
three
that.
three three types is there: constructor, setter,
Mhm.
and other one is
Like using annotation, like that is a different thing.
okay.
Yeah.
So what is difference between bean factory and application context?
Bean factory and application context. Mm, Not sure. No.
Not so.
I've not worked on Spring. I started with Spring Boot, so everything I know is using either annotation and a bit of
So
backend
what is
functionality as well.
qualifier?
So qualifier is basically is used to invoke a specific bean whenever there are multiple beans defined with the same name. So you can use qualifier annotation along with the bean name to
Okay.
inject it at the time. Yeah.
And profile annotation.
Profile annotation. I think profile. I know profile is for. Mm, Primary is there, inject is there, profile. Is it for like defining if it's your code form? No, no, no. That is something different. Different profiles for develop like production and dev. Is it related to that?
Spring Boot application annotation.
Yes. So
What is
it
use of this?
comprises of three annotations: at enable auto configuration, at configuration, and at component scan. So what it does, it component scan or scans all the components defined, maybe using at component annotation or other annotations like service, repository, controller, and all. And the configuration annotation is used to load the configuration classes, and
What is
enable
okay? What is difference between get and load method?
sorry, difference between get and
Load method in Hibernate.
get and load Hibernate. I haven't used Hibernate. I have experience on JPA.
JPA. So in
Yes.
JPA also needed this load method or something. Not needed. If
No, I
you
mean if you use the repository classes,
no,
I'm
so
not sure.
inside the repository classes, so many methods are there.
Yeah,
You
by
can
default there
simply
are.
pass the entity, it will call the automatically load method entirely. That's why I ask you.
So get is there. Load. I mean, you can call get method to for a specific entity. You can use get all for all the entities you have by ID or by load. I'm not sure. Load.
What is advantage of using JPA?
It gives you like if you compare it with JDBC, it does like helps you in defining the math. Like you can simply use all defined methods of JPA. You by just extending that class, like JPA repository, you will have predefined methods, and you can also create custom queries using at query annotation. The overhead of writing those statements in JDBC or calling the driver and all those things are not needed. You just specify the database details in your properties file and can start using those functions for your operations.
Okay.